How do I begin to trace my family tree? That's what I want to talk about in this video. 3 steps to get you going to begin tracing your family history step by step. Step 1, you gotta start talking to family.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
So step 1, real simple. Start with yourself. Start with put your parents and put your siblings down. Even if you just gotta pick up a pen and paper and write it down. Write down as much as you know, and I know with some, you got to talk to family. You're going to have to pick up the phone. You're going to have to talk to family, especially the older family members, or grandparents or great-grandparents, if you're lucky enough to have them and to know them. And you want to get as much information as you can. You want to ask for birth dates. You want to ask for marriage dates. You want to know where they're from. You know, let's say like mia familia, della Carini, Sicilia, they're from Sicily. And you want to know where they were. If they do know, you don't always have to know exactly where in Sicily or in Ireland, but it helps to know, of course, where they are. And you want to know when they immigrated, about what time they immigrated, maybe how many times, because a lot of times, like mia familia, they came over and the family stayed, and so while they worked at the docks, they would send, save their money, and then they would bring the rest of the family over. So you want to get that information. You want to get big events like that. You want to get as much context as you can, and you want to make sure to get the middle name. So if they have a middle name, you definitely want to have that, because for a really good example is I have a great-grandfather who is Harry Sylvester McDonald. Now, there's a lot of McDonald's out there, but not that many named Harry Sylvester. And that Sylvester is one of these brick walls, I guess. He has a first cousin the same age.
Use your words.
And I don't know why. I don't know why they have the names. Anyway, that's just one of my white whales that I'm hunting down, trying to find out. And hopefully one of these days I'll be able to post a video that I figured out why these 2 first cousins had the middle name Sylvester. But to get back to the point, you want to get as much information as you can. You don't have to necessarily have exact dates, but you want to have something to go on. So once we get into step 2, then you can start verifying that. But step 1 is going to be writing out all that information, talking to family, and you want to find out not just your direct line, grandfather to grandfather. You want to also get your grandparents and great-grandparents. You also want to get, if the information is available, and write down the siblings. Always get the grandparents and great-grandparents siblings, because we get a lot of information by following them. So you may have a grandfather that didn't participate in the census, but his brother did. So that, will help get you some, fill in some of the gaps and have less brick walls than like half my family just consists of brick walls that I'm trying to break. Step number 2 is where we're going to take that information. We're going to go online, and we're going to, I suggest you can use familysearch.org, which is free, and ancestry.com, which is free, to at least get you started, and you get access to a lot of records. So let's now go online. We'll go to ancestry.com. That's the one that I prefer. Again, you can use any of the free ones. It's just to get started. We're just doing the basics on how to begin tracing your family history. What you do here on Ancestry anyway is you go to Trees, pulls down the menu. I already got a few. And you want to come down to Create and Manage Trees. So we're going to click that. And then right here, you get the option, Create a New Tree, which is what we're going to do. Now, this is not a deep dive, but I do want to show those who are new to this how to do this. So we're going to click on that. We're going to add and start with a home person. So this is just to demonstrate. I'm not going to use myself, but I will use mia nonna, Caterina Gargaiano. She was born in Carini, Sicilia, which is in the Palermo province. Continue over here. Now, I've asked her, so I know her father is Francesco. He was born in 1880. Again, we don't have to have exact dates just yet. It always helps to have the exact date. He was also born in Carini, Sicilia. He died in 1946 in Brooklyn. So we save. Oh, he is deceased. Now I can say the tree. And bada boom, bada bing, we got that. I actually knew her mother, and that she's a wonderful woman, Francesca Armetta. She was born in 1883, also in Carini. She died when I was a little kid in 1978 in Brooklyn.
No sleep till Brooklyn!
now I've got my tree started. I can start really tracing my family history. Again, I want to plug in. If I do have Francesco's parents' names, I can plug those in here. I already know that his father's name is Gaspar Gargaiano. I'm not going to keep this just to demonstrate. So now we get to step number 3, and this is where we're going to be spending a lot of our time, and that is actually finding documents to not only confirm the information that relatives gave us directly, but we can now start really tracing our family tree and getting further back. As we can see here, it allows you to do that. So one of the things we can do is we can look at the hints. Now, again, the hints are not always going to be valid, but it's worth checking out. We have 14 hints from me and Nona. Now, I actually put this, and this is a really cool aspect of these sites. I posted this. This is my grandmother's naturalization record. This is how I also know she lived on Baltic Street. So that's going to help. So if we have something like that and we're looking for census records, having a street address is going to help confirm whether we have the right Caterina Randazzo or Gargaiano on the census records. So we also, again, like I was mentioning, I put this up so other members will be putting things up, and if it matches, if it's a relevant search, then we can get the benefit of being able to not only get the documents, but chances are if it's put up there, that they may be related to us, so it's something that we can then contact them. This is my Noni's Brooklyn 1935 Brooklyn wedding record, and what's really great here is my grandfather's on here, and the parents of the bride and groom are also on there, which is really cool. So what I'm able to do is then go back, and I can go back to me and Nona, and I can add a spouse. You'd think I'd be able to spell Randazzo. All right, and my grandfather, Salvador Randazzo, was actually the first Randazzo in my line to be born in the United States. He was born and died in Brooklyn. So that's what I can do based on the document that I found. So I can go to the hints, see that this is accurate, and I can save that. So what we also want to do here in step 3, when we're looking for records and trying to verify the information that we already have, and so we can continue tracing back in our family history, is use the search feature in whether you are in Ancestry or you are in Family Search, because both have for free access to quite a few records. It'll certainly be enough to get most of us going on initially tracing our family history. You should be able to trace your family history back at least a few generations with what we have for free on Ancestry or Family Search. So what we can do, you can click on this and you have profile, search, and quick edit. So you can just go right there to search. And so what Ancestry is going to do is, or Family Search, is it's going to take the information that we have and it's going to use that to narrow down searches that are appropriate, that may match up with Francesco Gargaiano or your relative, whoever you're searching for. So we're going to hit search, and that brings this up. So here on your search, this is where the information is over here that it's using to narrow the search down, so we only get, or we have mostly appropriate records that are going to come up. So we can see here, so this is an Ellis Island record, and we can see Francesco Gargaiano. Let's blow that up a bit over here. We got Francesco Gargaiano on line 15. It tells us he's from Carini, and that his wife is Francesca. Well, they spelled it wrong, but it's Armetta. And that he is going to Brooklyn. He's line 15. We can see the other side of this here document going to line 15. Right here. He's going to see his nephew, Gaspar Gargaiano. So we got the right guy. So this now we can hit save. We can save to Francesco Gargaiano and also to his wife, Francesca Armetta. So we can save that to the tree. And this is now going to add to the facts and the story that we have, that we're starting. It's putting together some of the context for this particular member of the family. So as we keep going, we get back at search. We can also narrow this down. We can go to immigration and emigration. A lot of information are going to be on these records. because they did cut a lot of people who immigrated. They immigrated multiple times, like I mentioned. So we can get passenger list, citizenship records. We can also narrow it down on the census records. Unfortunately, I don't think my great grandfather participated in these censuses, so I don't actually have. I have them on one census, not too many, but we have the birth, marriage, death, military, immigration, directories, and member lists. These are really cool because you can get a high school yearbook picture. So if you watch the video that I did on famous Sicilianos, and it was one of my, a hero of mine, Dr. Philip Zimbardo, I have high school pictures of him and that's where I got it. This is also really cool. You can hit family trees and you can see other people that may have your relative on the tree. So it's a way of connecting with other family. That's one of the things I use my Facebook group pages for, Descendants of Carini, where I meet people on Ancestry, and then they can invite them. If they have Facebook, then they can go into my group. We're at the 357. It might not seem like a lot, but there's not a whole lot of us out there. This is just for people whose family, at least part of their line, like mine, are from Carini, Sicilia. So excellent way to meet other people and to post information. So that's the 3 tips on how beginning to trace your family history, how to do it step by step. Step 4, I would just say, well, you got to enjoy the journey, because this has been an amazing journey for me so far, and I'm only just beginning. I mean, I posted a video last week where we were able to get 2 McDonald lines that had been separated by over 100 years by some feud I didn't even know until I met with Dennis. But we were able to connect and do that, and that is just the beginning of what we want to do. We want to have a family reunion in Thomaston. So for the first time in over 100 years, to get the McDonalds, the Mayos, the Whitneys, to get them all together there in Thomaston, Maine. So maybe next year. But these are things that are being planned, things that we can do, because it's not just finding names and plugging them in here to Ancestry.com. It's connecting with our families, learning the histories, learning where we came from. But these 3 tips are definitely going to help you begin to trace your family history. Thanks for watching. And if you have any questions, if you have any brick walls, anything that I may be able to help you with, leave them in the comments and I get to them, especially if you don't have the paid services and you don't have access to paid services, and there are certain documents that you have enough information on. Let me know in the comments that you need those, and I will do my best to get them to you. And hey, thanks for watching.